Softwares. My name is Chidima Cassandra Nzewodu, and I'll be your co-host today as we dive into this very relevant and timely topic, which is navigating the tech industry with AI. So whether you're just stepping into or you're curious about it, AI is changing the game. So buckle your seatbelts and let's get started with this. And today I'll be co-hosting this event with Mr. Godfrey. So Mr. Godfrey, if you're online, please do well to turn on your camera and say hi. Hi, sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Welcome, everybody. Hi, Cassandra. How are you doing today?
Hi, Mr. Godfrey. I'm doing well. How are you doing too?
I'm fine. Quite excited to be here having this conversation with everybody today. So if we can maybe hold on for other people to join in, because I think we still have a good number of people that are meant to join in. So if we can just give like 2 minutes before we
All right, I think we should do that.
Yeah. So while we're just waiting for others to join in, we'd like for you all to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on our company page, and maybe on Twitter you can just drop a message that you're here at this workshop. So we're actually looking to have something very impactful for all of us. So the speakers are here, they're ready to share their experience and their thoughts on how we can transition into tech, and how you can use some of the available AI tools to supercharge your transition to tech. So if you can just follow us, drop us a message on Twitter, just telling people a lot more about this workshop. We really appreciate that. So let's just hold on. We will kickstart properly in 2 minutes. So just give us 2 minutes to follow our pages on social media. So Cassandra, I think we can get started now.
Okay, okay. I think we should do that too. All right. Okay. So good afternoon once again, everybody. My name is Chidima Cassandra, and I'm super excited to welcome you to today's workshop hosted by Goddafi Softwares. Please don't forget to follow Goddafi Softwares on Instagram, LinkedIn, and on Twitter, and drop a thumbs up if you've already done that. We really, really do appreciate everything. Thank you. So whether you are a complete beginner or someone curious and looking to join the tech industry, today's session is designed to give you direction, to give you clarity, to give you insight on how to get started with that. And especially with AI, everywhere, in every corner you look, you have to know how to get started and get started with AI. We have like an amazing lineup of speakers. We have experienced people in different fields of tech, and they are all here to share how they got started, and you can also do the same. So before we jump right into this session, I need to know everybody. I need to know where you're joining from. You can drop your name and your city so we could connect more. I am Chidima and I am connecting from Abuja. So Can't wait to see all of you. And before we get started, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Mr. Godfrey. So, Mr. Godwin is a passionate software engineer and entrepreneur with over 5 years of experience in building and delivering impactful digital solutions across multiple sectors. His journey includes working with ASM Assembly Systems in the UK, where he developed systems to enhance production line efficiency, and also with the Nigerian Army, where he gained valuable experience in structured, high impact environments. Today, he leads Goddafi Softwares, a fast growing tech company on a mission to simplify and digitize operation for businesses across Nigeria and beyond. So, with a strong background in tech, leadership, cross-functional collaboration, Mr. Godfrey is focused on driving innovation, building scalable products, and also mentoring the next generation of the Nigerian tech talents. This is like an amazing portfolio. He works continuous to bridge the gap with real world problems with practical human centered software solutions. Like you have to just do that if you want your product to scale in our society today. So please, with your thumbs up, with all the emojis you have, I'd like us to appreciate Mr. Goddafi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Godfrey, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that warm introduction, Cassandra.
You're welcome.
I'm very much excited to be here.
You're welcome.
I remember when I just, graduated from university. This was in 2017. Basically looking out for, where I can actually work to grow my skills as a software engineer. And it actually dawned on me that, having a community where you can actually, even after studying in school, right, a community where you can actually practicalize some of those things that you learned is very, very important. Even working on personal projects to help grow your skills is extremely important. So, which is one of the reasons why we're having this workshop. I felt like, okay, there are lots of people trying to transition into tech, and even people that studied computer science in school. But in many cases, these people find it difficult to, get the necessary experience needed at first. So what we're looking to do here is to build a community at the end of the day of people that share the same goals in terms of helping each other get better when it comes to tech in general. So we've reached out to an incredible team of people from project management, software development, data analysis. They'll be joining us at this workshop shortly to present how they actually transition into tech. So just to add on top of what Cassandra said, you don't have to come from a tech background, and some of the speakers even studied, chemical education. They didn't actually come from, any tech background. So it's important that you forget about what background you currently have, and stay locked in on the presentation as each of the speakers actually come in. Okay. So I will quickly talk about Goddafi Softwares as a company, what we do, some of our services, and we will just get started with the first speaker. So these are some of the things we'll be discussing in this workshop. So we've kind of concluded the introductory side of the workshop. So we're moving on to the, just telling you about the company and our services. Then our first speaker, Mr. Samson Abobarin, will join us shortly. Okay. So can you all just thumbs up? Let me know that you can hear me. So I know
Yeah,
I'm
we
not.
can hear you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So at Goddafi Softwares, we're focused on helping businesses take their ideas and turn them into products. So we have a cross-functional team of software designers, product designers, and project managers. So, and most of these people are in different places in the country. Some people are in Lagos, although we're primarily based there in Abuja. We have team members in Lagos as well. So this is just to tell you that even if you're transitioning into tech, there are many opportunities that are available. That means you could even work remotely. You don't necessarily need to relocate for certain opportunities within the tech space. So we're primarily focused on helping businesses transform their ideas into digital products. Just to add on top of that, we also help businesses improve their process. So, for example, let's say they actually have a manual process of, let's say, managing their sales, for example. We can help improve, such process, and maybe turn it, maybe design a system to help them manage their sales and their team members. So that's just briefly about what we do as a company. Then our services cut across product development, software development, mobile apps development as well, search engine optimization, logo and branding. So recently we've just included home automation, smart home automation as one of our services. We also offer CCTV installation as a service. So aside all of this, in Abuja, we have a physical store where we sell computers and accessories. So if you're in Abuja, it would be very great to have you at our store to patronize our business. We also sell at very competitive rates. So it'd be great to see some of you at our physical store. So without taking any more of our time, we will just dive into our first speaker. So Samson Abobarin is a result-driven product and project manager with a strong background in digital strategy, agile delivery, and tech-enabled operations. With experience spanning fintech, telecommunications, oil and gas, and non-profit sectors, Samson specializes in leading cross-functional teams and building scalable solutions. He's passionate about turning ideas into impact through data design and execution. So at the end of all of this, we will share this, PowerPoint slides in the group chat, right? So that we can all, go through some of the things that we'll be discussing today. So please, let's just join our hands together and welcome Mr. Samson Abobarin. So Mr. Samson,
Welcome,
the stage is
Samson.
yours
Welcome,
now.
Mr. Samson.
Welcome. So you're muted, Mr. Samson.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me now?
Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Godfrey, for that warm welcome and introduction. So I'll just go about share my screen now. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we
All
can.
right. So before I
Yes.
dive
Okay.
into today's before I dive into today's topic, I'll just share a brief experience about myself, how I got into project and product management, like Mr. Godfrey had said. So I actually studied computer science. So I'm not part of those people that studied chemical engineering. So I studied computer science in university. I didn't like writing codes and all of that. So I think in my final year, the team project, I just discovered that there was a lot of chaos in our um, project management processes. There was no one to follow up on the developers or whoever was writing any documentation. So I just took it upon myself to do the follow-ups. At that time, I didn't even know what I was doing was project management. So I just took it upon myself to do some follow-ups, or have you completed this part of the code? Have you written the documentation we need? And we thought that we're able to have a streamlined process with this final year project, and we're able to deliver on our products. So after leaving school, then I discovered that what I was actually doing was project management, and quite interesting. I liked it, so I took up an internship as a software project management specialist. So I did that for about a year, and yeah, quite honestly, I liked it. There was a lot of chaos though, because there's always chaos in project management. You just have to be able to put structure to it and manage your team. So that's just a brief overview of how I got into project management. So into the topic of today. So today will be either a beginner at intermediary level, at an advanced level. I'll just be speaking on the impact of AI, how project or product managers use it. Why product manager? Because of the context of this workshop, which is software development. So they are mostly called product managers. So let's dive into it. So who is a project manager? So we know a project manager is someone that is responsible for organizing, planning, like I mentioned earlier. So you plan and execute projects, ensure they are completed on time and within budgets of your stakeholders. So what is a product? I'm sure any of us has used a product before, either a software product or just a normal product. Even a Coca-Cola is a product. Coca-Cola bottle is a product. Fanta is a product. Aside our software products, stuff like WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, they're also products. So a product is any goods or service that satisfies a customer's needs and also provides value to that customer or user. So then what is a product manager? What's the difference between a project and a product manager? So product manager acts as the voice of the customer. So we are always responsible for setting out the strategy for building a product. Like I mentioned, a product can either be a software product or a service. But for the context of this workshop, I'll stick to strictly software products. So we are responsible for setting out the strategy. What is the strategy? Strategy is a long-term plan of how our product is going to be built. So you are like the general manager of that product. You set out the strategy, the roadmap, and the features you want in that product. So I often get these questions, what's the difference between a project manager and a product manager? So what I say is, from experience, a product manager is often used or products and project managers are often used interchangeably within different organizations. So you see some organizations calling their product manager project managers. You see some organizations calling them product managers. But so for software organizations, they're mostly called product managers. So you see in other industries, An example is the construction industry. We have construction project managers. What do they do as well? They plan and execute construction projects. Your buildings, your roads, they plan, execute on time and on budget. So those ones are called project managers. Project manager is just an overall name, but in the context of software development, they're mostly called product managers. So don't be confused when you see job descriptions or job openings that are looking for project manager in a software development company. We basically use the same principles, either Agile, Scrum, Kanban, in executing your project. So that's just the difference and similarities between project managers and product managers. Yeah, so learning product management with AI. So we all know the technology landscape is evolving. AI is taking over, generative AI and all sorts of AI. So where do we stand as product managers or as beginners coming into project management or product management? Where do we stand? How can we use AI to amplify positions within this evolving technology landscape with AI? Some people are confused. Oh, I don't know how to use AI. I don't know how to do this, but these things are quite simple. So you can just make AI your powerful tutor, like your lesson teacher. Before I round up my session, I'll just run some prompts for you guys, for you to see. Please confirm if you can still hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Samson, loud and clear.
Yes, we
Alright,
can
thank
hear
you.
you, Mr. Samson.
So you can make use of AI, such as ChatGPT, DeepSeek, to ex explain simple product management concepts. So ask AI to simplify these concepts for you. If you're just coming into into product management and you don't know about some concepts like roadmap, MVP, and feature prioritizations, there's some certain concepts and buzzwords used in product management, and it might all get you confused if you don't know them. Let's say you're a beginner starting. So you can make use of these AI tools to ask it to simplify these concepts for you to understand, so you can always contribute to certain discourse around product management. So certain concepts such as roadmaps, for someone that has never been in the tech space, might not understand what a roadmap is, or MVP, which is minimum viable product. So some people might not understand those concepts. So you can literally leverage on AI such as ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Gemini, to ask you to simplify these concepts for you, so you can get to understand the meaning of these concepts. You can also use it as feedback strategy loop. So you can get feedback on your product strategies. What is a product strategy? It's also a concept that some people might not understand. So you can ask it to break down this concept. What's a product strategy? A strategy is a long-term plan, simple. So you can ask it to review if you have done your strategy for maybe a year for your product you want to build. You can ask it to review this strategy for you and, okay, optimize where I can make things better, where I can make resources better. Those are some of the places you can use AI to amplify your roadmap and strategies as a product manager. So moving on, some of the tools you can use as a product manager, some of the AI tools you can use. So carrying out research, you all know as a product manager, you must always carry out research for any product or any project you want to work on. You must always carry out research. Informs your decisions on what kind of features you want to put in your app. So, for example, I'll use Snapchat as an example. I'm sure the research team at Snapchat carry out their research. You see, sometimes you get in-app surveys for you to just give feedback, or even TikTok. Yeah, I still got one today. You get in-app messages or give feedback. Those are some of the type of research product managers carry out, apart from actually speaking to your stakeholders, which are the customers. So you can actually use ChatGPT to summarize, or Cloud, or Gemini, to actually summarize interviews you have carried out with your stakeholders, with your customers. You have collected data from your users of your app. How do I summarize this? Back in the day, you sit down, start trying to analyze data, trying to get themes from the data you have collected. But now with ChatGPT, just put that in ChatGPT and or Cloud or Gemini, DeepSeek, and ask it to summarize the interview, cluster feedback you have gotten from the users, and generate user personas quickly. So those are some of the ways and some of the tools you can use. So for prototyping and testing, so as a product manager, often some organizations require you to do prototypes. Prototypes are just how would I explain? So prototypes are a, a demo of what your actual product will look like. So you're often required to provide prototypes. So you can use Figma AI plugins or UIZ to generate wireframes from just simple text prompts, which I'm going to carry out at the end of my presentation so we can see. So also, you can also use these tools to analyze feedback from your customers. So for those organizations that um, have a lot of customers, have a customer support team that you get chats from your customers, get feedback from your customers often, you can use these tools to actually quickly uncover issues within those feedback you're getting from your customers. So that will help you to understand what features or what optimizations you need to make within your app to improve that app in your next version. So I'm sure a lot of us have either complained about maybe something on Instagram not working, or any of the apps you have used before. You'll be shocked that you have some of the product managers of those applications on Instagram doing some social listening. So they do social listening to get feedback from customers indirectly. So they just look at, oh, what are customers complaining about through social listening. So you can always use that to improve your product backlog. So your product backlog contains features that you want to develop for the next sprints or versions. So stuff like that can help you improve your product backlog. And finally, content creation and copywriting. As product managers, so we are often sometimes writing content, creating error messages for apps. So we can quickly use some of these AI tools to generate that instead of actually sitting down for a long period of time trying to do some copywriting. You can actually use all these AI tools, ChatGPT, to generate all of that. And it gives you an answer immediately. So you just need to refine, keep refining. If you're not getting the right answers from the AI, you just send the next prompt. Just ensure your prompt is rich enough for the AI to understand what you want, so you get exactly what you want. So moving on to the next. So I'm just going to give an example of a product I've worked on in the past, which is a school management system, and some of the AI prompts I used on ChatGPT. So after carrying out my research with potential users of the school management system, of course, we all know what a school management system is. Who are the users of the school management system? You have the teachers, you have the students, you have the parents of the students. So one of the research prompts I used was, I told AI, act as a seasoned product manager and summarize the key points from these meeting notes. That's the meeting notes I took while engaging the stakeholders. Then identify their key pain points of the administrators, teachers, and parents and their current processes. So I asked AI to help me identify the pain points. What are pain points? The problems they are facing, and how we are going to improve that school management system. So that was one of the prompts I used, and it helped me summarize that and gave me pain points. So the next prompt I gave it was, after the product manager, and list the functional requirements that the school management system should have based on the pain points you have highlighted in the user research. So that was my next prompt, to get the requirements that are going to be involved in that school management system. What is a requirement? A requirement is basically the features of that system. For example, a requirement is for the teachers to be able to log into the system. That's a functional requirement. The parents should be able to log into the system. The teacher should be able to upload their course materials onto the system. That's a functional requirement. So the AI was able to help me generate a list of those requirements without me having to think too much. And I was able to refine them, pick the ones I need, and based on my engagement with the stakeholders, identify the ones that was required for the school management system. So what are our key takeaways from today? We should always remember that AI is just a tool in our toolkit as a product manager. It helps us to improve our productivity. So tasks that you are going to carry out in 2-3 days, in the space of an hour, 2, you can carry it out with AI. So it also helps us to streamline our workflows. And AI complements, it helps us to complement, not, it doesn't replace human empathy. So as a product manager, one of the key skills you should have is communication, human empathy, because you need to empathize with your cross-functional team. If you don't have empathy, your developers or UI UX designers you guys don't work well. So you need to empathize, because you need to understand the amount of time or used to carry out their own tasks. You need to understand certain things. You can't just give a team member a task and, oh, I want it done immediately. So over the years with experience, you understand, oh, it takes certain time to complete certain tasks. So you need to be able to empathize with them. And AI won't be able to help you do this. This is just a social skill you need to have. And AI won't help you do that. So those are just the key takeaways and reminders about how we can use AI and what AI does. So I'm just going to show us 2 prompts that I showed earlier, how I use them and how that can enhance. So I mostly use ChatGTP. So let me just run the 2 prompts so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Yes, you can see your screen, Samson.
All right, so I'm telling you to act as a product manager now and list 10 functional requirements that a school management system should have. So just immediately, without me having to overthink, or this would have taken me at least another 2-3 hours to do. But with AI, it has been able to list 10 functional requirements for me. I'll just go through 2. So the first one is student information management. So this is where you store student profiles, including their personal details and the academic records. Timetable management, creating timetables for scheduling of times for teachers, students, and classrooms to be used. So it would have taken me quite a number of hours to pull out these 10 functional requirements. But now I can pick this and refine. If this is not good enough for me based on my engagement with those stakeholders, I can take out some or add some more, just to get it as perfect as I want. So that's how I use AI. Um, um, those are some of the ways we can use AI. So I'm just going to do one more prompt. Act as a product manager and for the registration module, create the user flow to log in for me. So this is the user flow to log in into the school management system. You have your start screen, either as a student, teacher, or administrator. You land on the login screen, enter your details. There's a forgot password option, then there's a login button. So it has created out the user flow for me. I don't have to think too much. I just need to refine, like I said. So here's a summary of the user flow. Start, enter your credentials, uh, forgot password. Okay, now this user flow is not correct, so I need to refine this. I can't enter my credentials and enter forgot password again. So I either enter my credentials, click on login. If the credentials are invalid, then I go to forgot password. If my credentials are correct, then I should move to successful login and it should route me straight to the dashboard. So you can see this user flow is not correct, but it has given me something to work on, something to leverage on. So I'll just fix this myself till I get what I want. So those are some of the ways we can use AI. There are so many other ways. There are so many other AIs that we can use, AI platforms, even on some of our product management, some of our product management tools, such as Jira. There are certain ways we can make use of AI on that, but I won't be going into that today. But with that, I come to the end of my session. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Samson, for that. I think a lot of people have been listening in, and I think they might actually have a couple of questions and things they might need you to clarify on. So does anybody have any questions regarding some of the things that Mrs. Sampson just spoke about? So yeah, please feel free to, you can turn on your mic and ask your questions if you have any questions. Okay, so I have a question, Mr. Sampson. You spoke about, you said people can actually use AI to learn, right? So can you actually show us, let's say, if you wanted to use ChatGPT as a tutor to learn product, um, design or product management, right? How would you go about doing that?
Okay, yeah. So if I would use ChatGPT to learn some of the uh, product management concepts and actually product management itself. Um, Hold on. So let me just run a prompt so you can see. So I'm just going to quickly run a prompt. I'm a beginner in product management. I want you to outline a 3 month course with content for me to learn product management in 3 months from beginner to Intermediate. Okay, so here's it. Month one, foundations in product management. So first month, you're going to learn foundations in product management, role of a product manager in organization, and the key responsibilities of a PM. So it has outlined a 3 months course for me to learn product management. So I'm just going to do one last prompt for week one. Can you put some content for me to actually learn? So as you can see, week one has started. So you can copy this course outline and save it somewhere and just follow this course outline for the next 3 months. And trust me, by month three, you'll be able to understand certain concepts of product management, how you go about product management. So you're basically the general manager of that product you're managing, be it you're building a school management system, like I mentioned, if you're building a social media app, if you're building a fintech app, you're just the general manager. So you're coordinating other people within the team, cross-functional team. You have your marketing team, you have your software development team, you have your research team, you have your what other team. You have different teams. So you're basically working with cross-functional teams, and you're like the general manager. General manager doesn't mean you're their boss. Yeah, you're all a team. You're just overseeing their responsibilities and ensuring um, they adhere to their timelines and tasks are delivered at certain timelines. So these are some of the ways you can actually learn product management and some of the key concepts of product management. So yeah, Mr. Godfrey, hope I was able to answer your question to some certain extent.
Yes, yes, that was very lovely to see that. I mean, we can actually I mean, these tools are actually free for us, and that we can just go on ChatGPT and get a well detailed course outline on how to basically get started in products management. So thank you so much, Mr. Samson. And one very important thing to point out is that um, at the end of this workshop, we should, take our time to practicalize some of the things that would be discussed here. Because at the end of the day, the only way for you to actually take advantage of, these AI tools and some of the things that we've spoken about is by actually practicing. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Sampson, once again. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our next speaker. So if you have questions, you can, keep write them in the chat box, and at the end of the workshop, we can set to answer most of these questions. So our next speaker is Mr. Toferati David. He's a senior product designer and is a product strategist with nearly a decade of experience at the intersection of design, technology, and innovation. He has contributed to over 10 impactful projects, blending user experience, brand storytelling, and creative leadership to build purposeful digital products. So he started his journey as a graphic designer And now Tofa has helped products go beyond functionality to deliver truly meaningful experiences. He's passionate about how AI is democratizing design, empowering the next generation of creators. So at this workshop, Tofa will share his insights on navigating product design as a beginner and how you can leverage AI in your journey. So we've just seen Samson, a product manager, um, tell us about the school management system. So Tofa is a product designer. He's going to come in and share his experience. And he also shared a little bit light on, let's say, if you actually wanted to design a school management system, what you would have to consider in doing that. So let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. Tofarati to carry on with his own presentation. So welcome, Mr. Tofarati.
Hello, everyone. Can you confirm you can see my screen and hear me as well?
We
Yes,
can
sir.
hear you.
All right. I'll proceed to share my screen. Share screen. All right, everyone. Thank you, Godfrey, for that warm introduction. Just as Godfrey has said, I'm a product designer. Forget the senior before it. It's just how we in tech tend to show hierarchy that we've been in the game for a long time. I'm a product designer, as he has said, with over 10 years experience, building products, right? And today I'll just be walking you guys through how to navigate the tech industry as a beginner in product design using AI. Over the past 2 years, I started messing around with generative AI because AI is really broad. So most of us actually interact with generative AI, right? Which is the ChatGPTs, Google Notebook LLM, Google AI Studio, right? And one of the things it has done, and which is mind-blowing, right? It has done two things, right? It has bridged the gap between ideation and delivering a product. So it would and also the resources required to do it, right? It would typically take a team of 5, about 3 to 6 months, right? Efficient team, not lazy team, really efficient team of 5 within a period of 3 to 6 months to deliver some of the high quality products that you can achieve now with AI in about 2-3 days with a team of 2, right? Or let's say at a stretch, a week with a team of 2. So it has bridged the gap between getting things from idea to product delivery. That's one thing. Then the other interesting thing that I think it has done for, the generation of people that are coming into tech now is that it has also made learning very easy, right? It has, before now, right, we were only able to access the information based on the structure that we were given to learn that. So let me give you an instance. If somebody wanted to teach you design, right, someone would have to walk you through it. Okay, this is the first thing you do, the next thing you do. Then by that information, you now go and go to platforms like YouTube and Google, and you're able to search. But now with AI, you do not necessarily need an instructor. AI can be your instructor. You can just as Samson has shared previously. Thanks for the presentation, Samson. You could just chat with AI that you want to learn this, and it gives you an outline. Then you can then begin to follow that outline. It would even suggest the best resources to use in learning what you want to learn. So those are the 2 key things I think AI has done. And I think everyone on this call that is looking to navigate their way into tech, I think now is the best time. I don't think there's been a better time, and it would only get better. So let me just dive into my presentation. All right. So what we'll be going through today, right, is what product design is. What are the common beginner hurdles, like the problems that people face as beginners in tech, and with a focus on product design, and how you can leverage AI as a co-pilot, as your would I say like your special assistant, and how you can proceed to building your portfolio. So let's do a deep dive. What is product design? Tunde mentioned earlier, Samson, what a product is, right? Products can be, it could be physical, it could be digital, But I mean, with the rest of my presentation, I'll be focusing on digital product because I mostly work on digital products. If you see your fan, your car, your laptop, those are all products, and it is product designers that actually design those things. There are a lot of careful considerations that are put into bringing products to life. So for your car, for instance, there is a reason the navigator is by the right, where you can just push it up and it will show you that it's going, sorry, it's by the left, right? You can do this and it shows you it's going to the left or it's going to the right. So there was someone that actually designed that. There was someone that put it into consideration that you can use a seat belt to hold somebody from when an accident happened. So I mean the damage is reduced. So these are careful considerations that people put in place, right, to ensure that people's day-to-day activities are done without much hassle. So, I mean, product design is the process of identifying user problems. So at the center of product design, there's users, right? And defining effective digital solution. As I said, my focus will be on the digital products. It blends user experience research, visual interface design, and strategic product thinking to create valuable products. So I'll just walk you through the four key components of product design, right? There's the UX research. So UX means user experience. It means looking at the user, for instance. So just as in the last demonstration, today walked us through the login process, right? That someone logs into the product. When you log in, if your password is incorrect, it gives you an opportunity to forget password. So that particular flow, that particular journey is user experience, ensuring that, for instance, if let's use OPay, for instance, most of us on this call, I would assume I've used OPay. So one of the key difference that OPay brought in improving user experience, right, is before in other bank apps, right, you would have to select the bank you want to transfer to, enter the account number, then it will validate whether the account is correct or not. But with OPay, it reduced the step of having to select the bank. All you have to do is put in the person's account number, then it will suggest the bank and you tap on it and it brings on the person detail. So that is user experience. That is looking for how can we make this thing more easier for the user. So that's basic one of the core concept of product design. Then the next thing is UI design, which is basically the visuals, the layout, and interaction of the system. So how the design patterns that you're using, where the button should be. Should you use pagination? Should you use endless flow of content? So I mean, those really key things are really they are really critical things that you have to consider when designing a product, the products that all of us use on the day-to-day basis. Then the next thing is prototyping and testing. So prototyping is basically taking all of your research, most of the product that we see today, they did not just code it out, or the developers did not just build it, right? There was a prototype. There was something that they used after conceptualizing the product. After conceptualizing an idea, right, they now build a prototype where the internal team can use it and say, okay, does this work? Does this not work? They test it before wasting a lot of resources to building the actual product. Then now realizing that some of the things that they had built doesn't work. So you have to do a prototype first. And the next thing is product thinking. Product thinking is basically as aligning business goals with the user needs. Most people that build products is for the purpose of one, solving a problem, but the ultimate thing is making profit, right? So you look at people like OPay, right? In all of the beautiful features that they have, the end goal, is to solve the user's problem, which is reduce the time and error between sending money from one point to another, right? They are able to do that for the users, right? But at the end of the day, they want to make profit. So that is the reason why they are doing it. So you have to, as a product designer, you have to think of users, then also think of product profitability, right? Or the business. For some businesses, their goal might not be profitability. It might be acquiring more users. It might be, there are a range of goals, but it's just for you to look at that goal of the business and align it with the user needs. I would show you guys how I have functioned or how I started my journey, basically as a graphic designer. So sometime in 2012, I mean, I was really curious. I mean, those of you that might have seen the video, I was really curious. For me, it was just about making money. How could I make money? Because I mean, I was about to enter university, and I knew I wanted to fend for myself, right? So I met one of my cousins that used to do graphic design, right? Just do graphic design, placed it on shirts. I think those are the days you see I'm a keep. I mean, all those designs, my money go like grass, all those things on shirts. So I was just, I mean, curious about it. Then I picked up my computer. I started learning how to use CorelDRAW and everything, right? Then, I mean, did that for a while. Then after a point in time, I got my job. I think the first job I got was sometime in 300 level, where I was working as a graphic designer. I was designing content for that company back then to be posting did you know content. I remember clearly for them on their Facebook and on their Instagram channel, just designing content for them. Then I think about 3 months into the job, my boss then now told me he wanted to do a game, trivia games. Then he told me to design what the users will be seeing. At that point, I just thought it was still graphic design. I did not know I had ventured into product design. So I was designing interfaces, we were designing experiences. Okay, how will we make this better so that the user will click on this? How will we make it better that the user understands what we're trying to do? So that's how I transitioned, as you can see, from graphic design, and I started doing product design without even knowing. I think then there was not even Figma or Adobe XD, or I mean, all of these fancy tools that we add now. So I mean, I even ventured into it without knowing what I was doing. Then I moved to Abuja. Then I got my first role as a product designer, still not knowing what it was. Right? I think that was as a youth corper. Then after a while, I started to learn. I had a team lead who was putting me through. Then I started learning how to do prototyping. Then I've always had a knack for business, right? And with these skills that I had learned, I was able to just look at the world, right? Or look at problems and look for how to solve it using design. So I mean, with all of this, I would like to assume most of us now understand what product, or understand the depth of product design, or the products that we use, that it was not just by the snap of a finger. There was intentionality in building all of this product that you use. Yeah, so what are the challenges that beginners face? So even I myself, like, I don't think these challenges have changed. The only good thing is that, I mean, there are ways out of these challenges now. Like, there's no better time than, I mean, overcoming these challenges than now, right? So one of the first things is tool overload. When we started, no, so for our own time, it was not really difficult because there were not many tools for designing. Then it was just Photoshop to do UI UX design, right? Then later we got Adobe X, even before Figma, right? But now there are so many tools, right? So many tools. Like, there are so many tools for you to pick from now. But the advice that, I mean, I would give right now to overcome the challenge of overload of tools, right, will be to start with a tool. And if you are doing product design, or you'll be doing product design, I recommend that you use Figma, right? Then the next thing is imposter syndrome, right? So a lot of people, like, I mean, it happens to the best of us, right? Even till now, right? Some of us still doubt ourselves, right? Like, am I good enough? Am I do I have the required skill to be able to do this? Do I have the artistic skill to be able to design? And I'm here to tell you that anybody can design, right? You don't have to be talented in using the brush or your pencil to be able to sketch things. No. Design is a function of, I mean, there's a bit of advantage. I'm not going to take that part away when you have an artistic mind, right? But I'm telling you that you can develop an artistic mind, and with tools that are out there today, right? Once you follow some basic principles of design, right, you'll be able to create a design that is beautiful and is also functional, right? Because for product designers like ourselves, we are not artists, right? There's a clear divide between art and design, right? Design is about functionality, as well as there's the beautification part of it, but like, there is a core focus on functionality. Why art, some may argue that may be functional, but art is mostly about evoking feelings of, I mean, like or dislike, right? The next one is lack of mentorship, right? So limited access to structured learning or expert guideline. So I mean, the good thing now is that the world we are in now is community driven. So like, one of the communities that Goddafi Software is building, during my time, there were no many communities like this. You had to look for someone that was really good. Sometimes you have to go all the way. You have to go all the way from Surulere, I grew up in Lagos, to VI to be able to have a one-on-one time with someone that you could speak with that could put you through. But now there are communities like the one Goddafi Software is building, where you can just engage with people. There are mentors. There are people with experience like myself on the platform that you can, can answer to some of the questions that you have. Then the next one is you have to deal with a lot of real-world projects. One of the ways to overcome it. So I remember when the first day I started learning how to design, I remember my cousin gave me I remember vividly a first bank card, and he put me in front of CorelDRAW, and he first taught me, this is the box tool, this is the rectangle tool, the square circle tool, this is how you join this is how you do this is how you select color, this is how you do everything. He taught me that for about 2 hours, and he gave me a first bank card, and he told me to design it exactly as I saw it. I was like, oh wow. And the first design was not close to it, right? But I think by the third time I was designing that card, I got it to pixel perfection, right? So that's what real world project does for you, right? It allows you to, it speeds up your learning process. It allows you to learn really fast. And don't let imposter syndrome fight you. Get your hands on as many real world projects as you can as possible. Collaborate with your friends. You can collaborate with your friend as a project manager. Tell him to give you a scope of a project to work on. You design that. You can even collaborate with your friends that are developers, right? They can build out that product, so you even have like a proper portfolio. So I'll jump next to AI as your design co-pilot, right? What I think it does for you, AI reduces the learning curve. As I said, just as Tunde demonstrated in the project management session, right? All you have to just do is prompt it out, and it will give you what to learn, right? So it reduces that learning curve, right? And it speeds up the process, like the process of designing, which I would show you, of creating like a functional prototype, used to take months, days, weeks, right? But now as you guys will see on this call, you can do it in a few clicks, right? And another thing that AI does, it enables solo work, right? It allows you to be able to expand your thinking, right? And just as Tunde said, like AI is the same as computer the way we've known it, right? It's garbage in, garbage out. The quality of work you're able to get from AI, right, is a function of the input you are going to give it, right? So if you do not give good input, you're not going to get good output, right? So the more you understand, the field that you are in, right? Like product design, you need to, one of the advice I would give, right, is you need to go to the fundamentals. Do not take for granted the tools that are available today and not understand the fundamentals. It may seem good for now, but after a while you fade away, right? Because in the age that we are in now, it is those that understand the rudimentals, the fundamentals of whatever field that they are in that will excel, because tools are going to do the work better than you are going to ever do it, right? So you really need to understand the fundamentals. You need to understand product design to its core. You need to understand the principles of design. You need to understand design patterns, right? Understand what the various design patterns are. Because what all of this will do for you, it will enable you to give better instructions. Remember I mentioned earlier that the more precise your instruction is, the better the output will be, right? To be able to give such precision in your instruction, right, you need to go back to the fundamentals. Do not take it for granted. I'm saying all of this, right, and I'm emphasizing on it because some of the things I would show you might excite you, right, and you would start to think that I don't need to learn it anymore. AI can do it, right? It might look all good and fine at the beginning, but someone with fundamental knowledge on these things would dust you, like by far, right? So I'll just show you some of the powerful AI tools for product designers. ChatGPT and Notion. Basically for brainstorming ideas, creating personas, writing copy, right? That is UIZ and Galileo AI. Yeah, they turn text prompt into wireframes and mockup. So wireframes are basically like your like a sketch, right, of any idea that you have. Because one of the key things in project management, right, is eliminating waste, right? You don't want to waste resources, right? Which is why which is one of the gap that wireframing and prototyping does, right? It allows you to do a sketch, right? So it allows you, so let me use architecture for an instance. Before people build the house, right, the first thing you do is that you do a sketch, right? Then you show it to the stakeholder. The person can say, I don't like the way this living room is. I don't like the way this kitchen is. Can we increase it? Can we do all of that? Then that adjustment can be done on paper, right? It's less expensive than somebody building the house. Then the person is coming, I don't like the way the kitchen is. Can we break it? Can you say that that is going to be more expensive? So that's the exact gap that wireframing and mockups they do at the moment. Then the next tool is Figma AI. So for those that already use Figma, right? Figma is within their ecosystem. They are supercharging the process of designing, right? Where you can just put in prompts and it generates designs for you, right? I remember I said for you to be able to generate design, you have to understand the problem. You have to give it proper instruction, because if you that are learning today do not take time to understand what the problem is, what the user needs are, you are not able to give a clear or precise instruction to the AI to be able to give the AI instruction that would actually generate the solution that would work best for the user. So you need to pay attention to the fundamentals. DALL-E and Midjourney, they generate UI assets and illustration. Maze and Playbook UX, they do they test the designs and gather user feedback, right? So this is just a handful of the tools that that exist today, right? For you to be able to supercharge your workflow or your learning process. So what does learning product design with AI look like? Right? So AI, so I divided into two parts. You can use AI as your tutor, just as Samson Tony mentioned earlier. You can ask AI to explain design concepts in simple terms. So you might be reading an article and you find something like what is so I mentioned something like design systems, right? Just putting it and understand what design systems are in the what's it called context of product design. You ask you can use AI to get feedback on your designs directly from AI. So you can literally design something now, take a screenshot and put in tools like ChatGPT and ask it, what do you think about this? How do you think this would affect the user's experience? You can even give it context of who the users are and would this work for set type of user. So that's currently available, right? Then you can use it to practice various diverse design prompts. So you just put in as many prompts as today has mentioned in your AI, right? It will generate something for you. Then the other thing is learning by doing, right? Transforming your ideas into prototypes with AI support, which is one of the things I'll show. And the other thing is experimenting with different design interaction, understanding real world application through practice. So with AI, you're able to use it as your tutor, and you're also able to use it to learn by doing, right? And I would show you that. So starting your first project with AI. So this is a flow that I'd come up with for those that are interested in product design, right? Choose simple ideas, right? Start with something as simple as a budgeting app or a book tracker, right? Utilize ChatGPT, like for a budgeting app and a book tracker, right? What are the features, just as today I mentioned, that such app will have, right, to be able to solve the problem, understanding what problems these tools can even solve, right? You can utilize ChatGPT to do that. Then you can also outline the user flow, right? That can be done with ChatGPT. And one other important thing that I want you to notice that, which goes back to my point of learning the fundamentals. So you can see that ChatGPT brought out an output for the previous presenter, right? And it was able to just, from the experience, his wealth of experience and his core understanding of the fundamentals, it was able to understand that the flow ChatGPT brought out was not correct, right? Particularly in the context of the problem that he's trying to solve, and is able to correct it, right? So ChatGPT created the outline of the user flow, but it was able to look at it and say, no, this doesn't work with what I want to do, and it gave an instruction for it to make it better, right? So you can use ChatGPT for that, but just understand that it will not give you the best flow. You have to still understand the problem, understand the fundamentals of the solution you're even trying to create, right? Then the next thing is bring things to life with AI. So yes, that's the end of the deck, but I would walk us through some practice that I put. But just before we dive into that, can I see some interactions to know if you guys are listening to me or if you guys are hearing me? All right. So I should proceed with let me see messages in the chat, but should I proceed? Are you guys interested in seeing what I have to show? I'm on the chat, but let me see your messages.
It'd be great to know if we have anybody that is interested in product design, so we can, if you have your questions, you can drop it in the chat box. Mr. Tofarati can answer these questions as well.
All right. So let's I've gotten some interactions and I've seen that you guys are interested, right? All right, so I'll just be I have like a series of prompts. So as Godfrey was saying that I was going to do something on the school management system, I just came up with like a series of prompts that we can use to generate it, right? So our goal today will be to generate a simple prototype for this, and we'll be using AI tools, right? From the ideation. So these are like typical flows that you would go through: the ideation, the user research, and user persona and use cases, information architecture and user flow. That's within a product lifecycle, right? There are different players like the project manager, the product designer, and the developers, both front end and back end. I mean, there's a series of people, right? And everybody works iteratively, meaning that it's a circle, right? People keep working, right? And collaboratively. So two key things: iteratively and collaboratively. Nobody works alone, right? And within all these phases, ideation and problem framing, it is not some teams, for instance, in some organizations, the project management team might lead ideation and problem framing, but they will not do it alone. They would have a committee of designers, project managers, developers, stakeholders, and all of that, right? But for these processes, they are typically different teams that lead them. But the tool we'll be using for our prototyping is, and you guys can even go along, right, with me. I can put the prompt in the prompts in the chat as we go. Or when we finish, I will share the prompt. I will share the website so you guys can do. So just watch for now, right? So what we'll be using is Google AI Studio. It is free. Everyone that has a Gmail has access to this, right? It is free. And I'll just start by copying this from prompt, right? It says, act as a product strategist. Help me define a digital product idea for a school management system. Who are the main users? What are their key pain points? And what features should the MVP include? So MVP means minimum viable product, right? So I'll just copy and pasted it, Command Run or Shift Run if you're using Windows. And AI would think. So it has given me an output, right? So we'll focus on kindergarten, 12th grade environment, includes the most diverse set of user needs: students, teachers, parents, school administrator, key pain points, students forgetting homework deadlines. So it's formulating the product, right? So this is what these are the pain points for the student. They forget their homework, difficulty accessing learning materials. For the teacher, time sink, right? What's it called? The time that they have to do things collide, right? Parents and guardian information gap, school administration, inefficient communication, interesting. MVP, these are the features. Core modules for the MVP, using blah, 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 blah. Academic essentials for teachers, for parents, right? So the next thing I have on my prompt, right, is based on, no, let's not do this because we already have like we have like a list of the personas, right? Let's copy this prompt. So when you are doing this, as I said, we'll share this prompt with you. Make sure you follow these steps, right? I will skip a few and just go and say, outline the sitemap. So a sitemap is basically when you go to things like Google, or you go to any website that you go to, there's usually a sitemap, basically like where the user flows through, right? from home page, you either go to the contact page, you go to all of that. So that's what the sitemap is. We are trying to generate that. Command enter. It will think for a bit. So it's generating the sitemap and everything. Okay, so we'll do one more prompt. So I'll say suggest a modern and intuitive layout. So we've defined. So what I've done now is we've used AI to brainstorm an idea, right? All I gave the AI was a school management system, right? It has suggested a couple of things. So typically, I would read through that. Because I already understand, like the users or the stakeholders would have told me, this is my school, this is the problem we are having, right? I would put all of that in context, right? To be able to determine if what AI has given me is correct or not, then use that information to refine it. But because of time, I'm just breezing through it, right? So suggest a model. So we've defined the idea. We already have like the sitemap for it, typically for a project like this. So I want to define the looks for it. So I just say that generated that. You guys should just give me a second. It gets interesting. I promise you guys. All right. So it has done this. So I just say generate a. So let me bias it. Act as a expert web developer. Let me say product and generate a prompt with all the considerations are both to build the product using all right. So what I've done is I've given AI all of the context of what I wanted to build at. Let it generate the look and feel, right? I did not check all of this. I was just breezing through it, right? Generate the look and everything for it. Doing the sitemap and everything. Then finally, I'm telling it to generate a prompt, right? That it would use to build, that the same AI will use to build it, right? Because, I mean, just to get that precision. So on this Google AI Studio, I mean, a bunch of things that Google AI Studio can do. You can use this actually to learn different tools. There's a feature called Stream where you just share your screen and it will be telling you what to do, right? There's a part where you can generate pictures and all that. Then there's a part build is generally for doing prototypes, right? It's generally a tip for building a tool for building prototypes, which is our goal. So I'll just copy from the beginning of this prompt. So this is where the prompt starts from. Color palettes. All right. So the name AI gave it is Connect Ed Up, right? Then it gets really interesting now. I promise you guys. All you do is you paste this Press Command Enter. And let's watch AI do the work. Please react. Let me know you guys are seeing this.
So
Right.
Tofa, can you just tell them the name of this AI?
Okay, yeah. So this is Google AI Studio, right?
Oh, lovely.
So let me send you guys a link to it. Google AI while it's generating it. AI Studio. So it's a tool by Google. As I mentioned earlier, it is free. So I'll drop it on the chat. So we can all go check it out. So we are waiting for it to build it. So what this is doing is building the front end, right, for the product that we are doing. So it takes it beyond just designing pictures on Figma to building something that the users can actually touch and feel. However, it is not functional, right? You will still need a backend developer or someone with development expertise to be able to make this functional. The purpose of this at the moment, right, it can be functional, but it would, even if you were to use AI to make it functional, you might not have the expertise to be able to do it, right? So, because I don't think AI will eliminate collaboration. What AI would do, right? AI would enhance the time everyone has to do their job, right? A designer, it would take a designer. So typically, as I mentioned earlier, it would take me nothing less than a month. That is me being really efficient. Really, when I say efficient, really efficient, working for a month. Maybe not just me, maybe a team of 2 of us, right? To be able to do what I'm doing right now in, I think, less than 10 minutes, right? In less than 10 minutes. It will take a team of 2 to a month to do this, right? And so just to walk you guys through some other things in the AI tool and what it does for you, right? There's Stream, as I mentioned earlier. What Stream does for you is that it allows you to talk to the AI, right? You just share your screen. Say you are using Photoshop, you are using Figma, and you don't understand something. Just come here and you share your screen. Once you tap share your screen, it would capture your screen and you can be speaking with the AI that I don't understand how to do this. The AI will literally speak back to you and tell you what to do, right? Then there's one, the generate media, right? So you want to generate picture. I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing all those videos online of Nigerian women saying that they are prompt and all of that. That is created using VEO. You can generate videos. All you have to do is tell it what you want it to create and it will create it for you. Then there's build, which is the one I'm using now. It is used to build things for you, apps, websites, whatever you want to do. So those are like the key things in that Google AI Studio does for you. So this, because of the solution we are building is quite large, it's taking a bit of time, but in a couple of, it has done 90% of the work. It has done 90% of the work. In about a few minutes, you would see the output. So just bear with me. And so I think at this moment, do we have any questions? Let them keep coming in while we wait for this.
So I can see Deborah has a hand up. Deborah, do you want to ask a question? Okay, so Mr. Matthew, you can ask your question. So we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Okay, Matthew, I think Matthew is raising his hand. Matthew, shoot with your question if you don't have a question.
I think we're having challenges hearing him.
Hear me, please.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Dear
Yes.
presenter, good afternoon. Thank you for the good work. I want to find out, do you have a recording for this? Would it be available for participants?
Yes, the session is being recorded. The session is being recorded, so at the end of the day, we will share it on the group chat.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, because we're struggling to getting everything that's been said at once. But with the recording, we can always go back to where we missed. Thank you very much.
Okay. So at any point during the point where you're trying to watch the video, you can always drop a message on the group chat, and we will attend to it. Maybe try to clarify certain things for you.
Okay, all right.
And just to add, Matthew, like the goal of this, right, is not to overwhelm you guys, right? It's just to show you the possibilities of what can be done, right? So one of the principles that I've lived by, I mean, for years is number one, no one knows anything more than you, right? They only have known it for a longer time, right? Or they've spent more time practicing it. So it's just the function of those two things. Either they've known it for a longer time or they've spent more time practicing it. If you pick this up today and you keep practicing this, and I stop practicing it and you do this for 1 year, I can promise you is that what you would do would be better than what I would do, right? So do not be overwhelmed. This is just to show you the possibilities of what can be done, right? And just to let you know that it can be done, and don't rush yourself. Remember, I told you, focus on the fundamentals. It took me 10 years to be able to do this, right? It might look like something that is very easy, but the knowledge to get here, it took me about 10 years. But the good thing now is that you don't need to use 10 years to get here, right? I can promise you that in 3 months you can get here, right? But just focus on the fundamentals. Do not rush yourself. Do not be overwhelmed. So that's the advice I'd like to give you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
All right. So this would load anytime from now. Found because of the scope that we gave chat and Google AI Studio, right? When you're building a school management system, it's not a small system, right? It's a really it's a really big system, right? So what will happen is, let me just do
So I think what we can do is we can just come back to this when it's done building, and then we can have the other.
Yes, I actually want them to see it. So I want them to it should be done now. So they don't think I went to go and do something in the background that made it work. I want them to know that this is done very easily. I think it should be done in like 2 seconds or better. So let me just do something simple like build app. Let me see. Let me use one of the templates that they have that they've created. Dynamic text game using voila. Okay, this is done. All right, this is done and is loading the preview. All right, so because of time, I think let the second speaker continue, right? I would let you guys know when I will let you guys know once this is fixed and once this is fixed and once it's trained, so I would represent it, right? Yeah, so those I hope you guys really enjoyed my presentation, and yeah, that's it for my own presentation. I would get back to this once it fixes and show you guys.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the class. Thank you very much for presentation.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tofa, for that insightful session. So I think if anybody has questions, you can just keep it towards the end of the workshop, because we still have a few other speakers that are coming in to share their experience and to touch on other areas. So now we've heard a product designer tell us that, okay, look, from the ideation stage, you can actually come up with a prototype, like a visual representation of your design, right? So now we actually want to hear from a software developer, because typically you'd go from the project planning phase and then you have the design phase before the implementation phase. So just imagine you're working on a construction site. You come up with the design first before you get the builders to come in and implement the designs, right? So same thing happens in the tech industry. We just heard from the designer. Now we're going to hear from the developer, someone that would actually build and bring these designs to life. So without taking any more time, I'm going to share my screen to allow for us to okay. So we need to hear from Mr. Emmanuel. Emmanuel is a result-driven software engineer with over 5 years of experience building scalable solutions across the edutech, fintech, and analytics industry. With a background in chemistry education, he combines analytical thinking with strong engineering skills to deliver efficient, high-impact systems. He's passionate about mentorship and growth. Emmanuel currently leads backend teams remotely, driving innovation while empowering the next generation of developers. So I think it will be very interesting to hear from Mr. Emmanuel. Sorry, let me just Mr. Matthew, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, so it'd be very lovely to hear from Mr. Emmanuel. His background is quite interesting. He's coming from chemistry, education background. Now he's actually a developer building systems for companies. So I think this is something that should serve as a motivation for most of us here. That even if you're not from a tech background, you can certainly transition into tech, and most importantly, take advantage of AI right now. So Mr. Emmanuel, you're welcome once again. Let's all welcome Mr. Emmanuel. Okay. So Mr. Emmanuel, we can't hear you if you're speaking. You're muted.
All right, thank you, Mr. Godwin, for the warm welcome. I'll quickly share my screen because I don't have much time. So let's just get straight to it. All right, please, if you can see my screen, please react. I know that one page. All right, thank you. My name is Emmanuel, just like Goddafi has introduced, and of course I'm a software engineer, so over 5 years experience. So I'm currently working as a CTO at Blairi, which is just a platform for freelancers to get paid for those that are being paid across borders. So hopefully, with the community you are building, some of you are diving into tech, you can start freelancing, be it as a project manager or designer or software developer, internally, and you have foreign clients. This is our platform to kind of get paid from your clients. All right. That's a little bit about myself. Let's go to the next slide. So I'm currently talking about this AI-powered career growth for developers. Now I'm tuning it career growth for developers because, yeah, coming from my own background, I'm not really. I didn't study computer science as an honors in the university. I actually studied education chemistry. But then I think my journey started in 2018 when my friend who was in computer science reached out to me. I was like, okay, let's just go and build a school management, this CGPA calculator. You know, back then in school, we always hears about okay, things that year one, year two, you what was the GPA and all of those things. You know, manually calculating some of those. So because we've known ourselves for a long time, so and I'm really good at logic, like I like logical thinking and technical things. So just with Emmanuel, just help me get join together and do this. Then that was it. He started sending me tutorials. That was just to do that CGPA calculator. And of course, while doing that, a lot of research and all of those things, I got to take interest in software development career. So that's basically it. So I think this is part of a kind of a motivation for anybody, no matter your background. You don't need to have a degree in computer science, because I know some persons might be skeptical about coming to tech because probably they study the agriculture industry or some other course that has nothing to do with computer science or technology. But it doesn't matter. I mean, what matters is what you can do, the problem you can solve, right? And I believe that something you have interest in and you have enough motivation, you go for it. So believe me, it's very much possible. So I've been there, done that, and I'm still pushing. So I believe that no matter the background you're coming from, anyone can actually excel in this industry. And given the fact that we now have AI here and there to kind of assist and guide us and provide us with enough information we need to kind of excel properly. I mean, it's a win-win for everyone. All right. Talking about software development. What is software development? It's just the process of designing and coding, testing, and deploying applications that power websites, mobile apps, and business systems. So I believe everyone has a phone. You join this session with a phone. So and your phone has applications. Even if you don't have applications, at least you have bank apps that you're using. So those bank apps, they are developed by developers. And there are processes that are involved, right? So just like we started this section with project manager, Mr. Samson, he did a fantastic job in breaking down the whole process of product management. I mean, the whole journey begins from there, right? So you have the product that you want to build, you deploy and get the project manager to kind of manage the whole thing. And product manager kind of set up his team, though the begin the process of software development life cycle, where we have the planning phase, which is the product, of course, the product manager leads the whole process. Then whatever they come up with, we have the UI or the product designer who will design the product. That's different from what Mr. Tofa has just presented with regards to designing products, right? So once they come up with that, what next? The design and all the planning, everything has to come to life. That is where software development comes into play. So you see that everything is kind of linked together. So we are all in this together. I think as long as technology is involved, right, we are all connected in one way or the other. So software developer can just go and start building products which people will not use, right? You build a new product that you know that is solving problems. Your bank apps, okay, they're solving problems, financial problems. This school management system we're talking about solving problems because some schools are finding it difficult to kind of manage their data sets, which is the number of students you have, doing result calculation and all of those things. You know, these are problems that we need to solve. So when you meet people in there, maybe a product manager, I have a school and you're finding it difficult to do this one. So I need you to build a system for me to accelerate this and okay, to grow our business or to grow our school and all of the manage our school and all of those things. You know, That's what software development is all about: building products that will solve problems. And in software development, we have, let's say, three categories, because there are lots of work that needs to be done. Like the project manager has planned and set up a team. We have the UI designer who has designed the product, which the software development team needs to bring to life. And this software development team, there are those that will work on the user experience and the user interface that the product designer has actually designed, right? And then there are those that they need to do the actual logic. You know, where this information, where this application, what will power this application, what server will power this application, you know, where are we going to store the information or the user's data, right? And then there are those that are in charge of, okay, this application, where are we going to deploy it? How are we going to be running? Okay, to prevent things like this application or this system has crashed and all of those things. There are engineering teams that are in charge of ensuring that, okay, these systems do not crash, these systems do not break down. This is rare if you can hear me. All right. So, talking about the different teams in the software development team, like I just explained, you have the front-end development team, which simply focuses on the user interfaces and experiences. Of course, they kind of bring into life the design, which the designers have done. So then we have the back-end development, which is basically we are building the logic, the database, the APIs that power those applications. Even this AI that we're talking about, many platforms that are making use of AI, right?
I'm sorry, Mr. Emmanuel. I think some people can't really hear you. So can you maybe adjust your mic a little bit? So please let's confirm if we can hear him now.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, he can't hear you. Say something again, please.
What about now? All right, perfect. All right, I'll just retract over the software development explanation that I was talking about. So software development is all about the process of designing and coding, testing and deploying applications that power websites, mobile apps, and business systems. So if you have a product that needs to solve a problem, you've reached out to a product manager who can said, please, we need a software or a product that is going to help us manage our business. Be it a school, or you are in your shop and you are looking for an inventory management system to kind of manage your stock. You know, you are trying to solve a problem. So you have identified that problem, which is the first thing you do. Now you reach out to a product manager. Then the product manager looks at the problems you've stated and does the proper research based on the presentation that Mr. Samson did earlier on. You've seen how a product manager kind of does his whole thing by doing research and gathering information and data. And based on that, of course, he will assemble a team that needs to work on this product. Now, part of the team that is going to assemble is a UI, is a product designer, right? Now, this product designer will design the product, that's the user experience and the user interface, based on data or the information that has been gathered. Now, after the design has been done, what comes next? Bringing that design to life. That is implementation. Now, this implementation is done by software developers. Now, this software development is not just it's not like a team that does just one particular thing. There are also different phases to it in development. There are those that are in charge of bringing these user experiences to life, which is the front-end development side of things. Then we also have those that actually do the actual logic, creating APIs, designing the database. That's where the users' data are going to be stored, and actually bringing the product to life. That's the interaction. You know, you come into an app, you log in, and you're able to log in. You put in your password. If you put a wrong password, the system is able to say that, okay, this password is wrong. That's the backend logic, right? Because the front end has done the UI, the user interface. You can see and the product, you can navigate around the system. But the actual functionality is coming from the backend. So we also have a team that does that. Now, we have a different team called the DevOps. This is more like the entire flow. This is a team that kind of combines the entire flow from the front end to the back end. Have they coupled, have they joined their work together? If they have done that, this product needs to be deployed somewhere, right? These are the people responsible for deploying the product. After deploying that product, these people also need to ensure that this product is always available. You know, we have this issue of sometimes you log into a system and you navigate to some certain areas and you feel like, okay, this product is, this app is crashing or the server is down. DevOps are those that ensure that these systems do not go down that route, right? They want to ensure that the system is always reliable, and the system can also accommodate millions of users. So imagine Facebook, where millions of users are always logging in and making posts. If the DevOps are not doing their work, of course, Facebook is going to crash. So that's the work of DevOps. So we have three different areas in software development. We have the front-end development, we have the back-end, and we have the DevOps. And of course, sometimes you could hear people say full stack. I'm a full stack developer. For those that have been interested and doing their research on software development. Full stack simply means that as an engineer, you do both front-end and back-end. So there are those that specialize only on front-end, we call them front-end engineers. Those that specialize only on back-end, we call them back-end engineers. Then there are those that do both front-end and back-end, especially some freelancers. They are full stack because they can actually do both the front-end and the back-end. Now, moving forward, so my journey before AI and after AI. Of course, I know some of us here may not have decided on which path to take, whether it's a software development journey or the product design or the product management, right? So whichever one you take, of course, you have an advantage. So using my journey as a reference, before AI, how did I get into tech and learn some certain things? Of course, the learning process was kind of manual. Like I said, my friend back in the university was sending me tutorials, and we are going through Google and Stack Overflow to research, right? So of course, the growth is slow and challenging, because if you encounter any issue, you put in a lot of work, a lot of effort in trying to resolve that issue. Sometimes it was frustrating. And believe me, when we encounter errors then, of course, there is a bug that could stay for days, 2 days or 3 days before you even resolve it. And some bugs, it's only when you sleep and wake up that you are able to resolve it. I'm not joking. So it often felt lonely, because if you reach out to someone, like if you have a mentor or somebody you are reaching out to, maybe a senior colleague, you know, they might be busy and they may not have that time to have a one-on-one section with you. So it's kind of lonely, because you tend to do 60% of the research yourself And most of the times is what your the person you're looking up to or your guide will tell you to do the research on your own. Try to resolve this issue on your own, right? So that's also a skill, teaching you how to do research on your own, to try to solve problems on your own, right? So, I mean, that was how it was. It was frustrating. The growth was slow and challenging, and sometimes it was lonely. Now, with the aid of AI, I mean, I can't really go back in time and say, okay, I want to learn software development from scratch with AI, right? So I will just reference my journey from backend development to DevOps, right? Because now I also work as a DevOps engineer. So, I mean, with AI, since I have the fundamental concepts in backend development and also front end, I mean, having that fundamental skill is easier, but with the aid of AI, it was much more easier because some certain things I need to do, some automated deployments and everything, research and other things, it was easy. With ChatGPT, DeepSeek, GitHub Copilot, it was much easier to write what we call GitHub Action Workflow if you are kind of creating a pipeline to deploy applications to the server or even Dockerizing applications. So these are basically DevOps concepts. So it was much easier with AI, right? And all you need to do is just to provide a prompt and the generative AI model does the rest for you, right? So I also need to point out that having that fundamental knowledge, right, is very, very important. Just like Tofa has stated earlier. You know, AI is not here to, most people might think that they are here to replace you or something like that, but they are basically tools that you use to increase your productivity, right? So a work that is supposed to take you a week, 2 months, 3 months, with AI, you can do it in times 10 less time, you know? So AI is there to kind of help us enhance our productivity. So believe me, with AI, if you want to dive into any field in tech, it's going to be easy. Now, tools I use daily. Of course, I use ChatGPT, I use Copilot and DeepSeek. And I think some of my colleagues, the product designer, who is Mr. Tofa, has kind of shared an AI tool he uses in his daily activity, which is that Google Studio AI. So as a developer, you also have some tools that we use, right? And ChatGPT is one of them. Copilot as well. And what does Copilot do? It's more like, as you're coding, it's suggesting. So if you want to write a function that, let's say, returns the name of a user, once you are beginning, as you're typing the function, it kind of suggests the code for you. All you need to do is just to select it and automatically it's done. But then, if you don't have the fundamental knowledge, you don't really know how to use some of these tools, right? Even when the Copilot suggests the code, you might not know if that code is right or wrong, right? So that's why that important tools, fundamental knowledge is very, very important, right? I also use DeepSeek for code search and detailed code explanations. So of course, as developers, we collaborate with fellow developers to kind of create products and implement APIs and the rest. So sometimes you might see a code that you don't understand. With AI, very easy. All I need to do is just to copy the code snippet and paste it there, and of course, the explanation comes up. So these are some of the tools I use in my daily work activities. Now, I'm just going to demo a simple system, which I just prepared for this particular workshop. And just to show you how you can use AI to kind of, how I use AI daily as my assistant, right? So I'm quickly going to go to this GitHub repo. I know some of these concepts might be confusing because these are basically software development terms, but it's just to demo something. So this is just a school management system, a snippet. It's not really much. So I'm going to run this server. All right, this is just a simple something that I just came up with. And believe me, I used ChatGPT to kind of generate the whole of this code you're seeing here, right? In less than 30 minutes, I prepared this with ChatGPT, right? So, I mean, the idea is not for you to actually understand this, right? But just to show you how I use AI daily. So, and I believe you can do the same. And with AI, if you are diving in, you want to learn, right? You have the roadmap, you know how to generate the roadmap with ChatGPT or DeepSeek or what have you. You know, these are some of the things you'll be struggling with, or some of the things you'll be doing, right? So let me just quickly demo this. This is just a button to view the list of students we have in the student directory. There are no students here. Let me quickly add a student. Let's say Emmanuel. Chisom. Let's say emma@co.com as the email. Grade level, let's say 200. Right, I've saved this. Now, if I want to delete this student, once I click this, it has deleted. Now, I've presented this in our Teams meeting. Maybe our product manager has seen this. And he said, a user should be able to see a warning. You know, before you delete a record, you need to see a warning and say, okay, are you sure you want to delete this? So it won't be that mistakenly you clicked on that delete icon and then this record was deleted. Now they've created, there's what we call tickets in normal sprinting on product management. If you're using Jira or whatever product management software they are using for that particular project, they create a ticket and it's an issue. You need to solve it. How do I do this with AI? I just open my ChatGPT. Here is the code. And of course, I keep emphasizing this. Knowing the fundamentals is very, very important, because knowing the fundamentals, you already know your way around. You know what each folder is doing, right? You know where to implement whatever is needed. But then doing that particular thing with AI, it makes it easier. So I don't need to start cracking my brain and writing code. All I need to do is, now this AI, this ChatGPT doesn't really have an idea of the programming language I'm using or what the project is all about. I need to provide prompts. And how do I do that? I'll quickly go to where I'm supposed to do this stuff, which is on this particular section. I'll copy the entire code as a reference. Now I'll say, I need your help to, okay, let me quickly go to this section. I already wrote the task. So add a confirmation message before deleting a student or course record. So let me just stop at student record. So this is just a task I created for this particular demo to solve this with AI assistance. So I'll paste this. I need your help to solve this task. Right? I paste the task. Now, remember, this is a language model, so it needs proper information. If I send this now, it doesn't really know what to do with this. So you need to provide proper context, right? Now, I will say, okay, I've copied this particular snippet. I'll say, this is a view file for my application. All right, again, this is a route for the application. I'm going to provide a route. And of course, you can't really do this without knowing your way around. So that's why it's important to always know the fundamentals. And of course, AI can as well help you in knowing some of these things, breaking them down for you. Now, right again, this is the controller file. All right, let me quickly open up this. Deleting. Now, I also said this is a Node.js Express application. So this is basically giving ChatGPT a context of the type of project this is and what stack, what programming tool I'm using to work on this, right? Because this is a new chart. It has no information about what I'm doing, but I need help. So I need to provide proper context, right? Then I hit this. Now, this is it. Step 1, add JavaScript to handle confirmation. I need to copy this. And of course, like I keep saying, if you don't know the fundamentals, I mean, you get confused. But if you know the fundamentals, it makes it much easier. So if it has directed me on what to do, all I need to do is just to copy the code and paste it where I was asked to paste it. Just this. Now, what next? No changes needed to your controller or route. Fine. See, I posted my controller and my route. It's saying no changes needed. So this is basically the only thing I need to add. I just save. Let me restart the server. So let's go back to him and add a new student. Let's say John James. John at co.com. It's 300. Now, if I want to delete this, it asks me, are you sure you want to delete this record? Now, imagine how many minutes it would have taken me to type this out and get this logic. It's easily, it has done it for me, right? So I had some tasks here I wanted to kind of complete and show, okay, with AI, how I can actually do this easily. But because of time, I'm just going to skip this. So now, if you want to dive into software development, right, of course, you need roadmap, right? And you also need to decide which area do you want to dive into. Do you want to dive into front-end development or back-end development or even DevOps, right? I mean, with AI, ChatGPT, you can ask it to provide you, you can provide a prompt and then it will give you a detailed roadmap, right? But I also advise, right, once you get a roadmap, right, that's why we are building this community, right? You also have the liberty of reaching out to somebody that has been in that field, right, to kind of review that roadmap that was generated. You know, it makes it much easier, right? So this is a language model. So you still need that experience and knowledge from persons that are already in that field to kind of review that roadmap. You know, maybe remove some certain things that are not necessary or move them, maybe the things that you're supposed to learn later on, right? Instead of wasting maybe the first 3 months and learning that stuff, which is not really important, or yeah, it's important, but you might not really need to have that first 3 months, right? It can come later because truth be told, we learn in this job, right? You can't learn everything at once. So sometimes this prompt can provide you a detailed roadmap, but then you need to reach out to a professional or someone that's been in the field to kind of review that roadmap And the reason is simple. You need to remove some certain things that are not of top priority, because your focus should be trying to get this skill 3 months, 4 months, and start applying for jobs. While in that job, you can upskill, right? And learning some of the things that are not necessarily pressing at that moment. So you can generate this a roadmap with ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Cloud or whichever generative AI model that you want to use, right? But then I've also generated a kind of a roadmap for these different fields. Just let me just quickly show that. Although we're going to drop this in the group as well. So if you are interested, and maybe you want to dive into front-end development, user experience and all of those things. This is a roadmap in 3 months. I've reviewed this roadmap, removed some things that are not really necessary for now. So this is a detailed roadmap giving you projects at each interval. So we're going to share this. Then for those that want to dive into backend development, we also have a complete development roadmap, a backend development roadmap that you can follow, right? So, I mean, that's the essence of building community with AI, right? It makes a lot of things easier, but then you still need people with experience to kind of reach out. It makes it much easier, right? So just that AI can help you solve issues and enhance your productivity. A task that's supposed to take you 2 hours and 3 hours to do, you can do it in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But then experience is also important. Also reach out to professionals. Also reach out to your peers. And why do you reach out to your peers? Because of network. So sometimes you might have the skill, but then if you don't have the proper network, landing a job becomes difficult. That's the essence of the community we are building. So I just needed to point this out as well. So I would have done more demo on how I use AI and how you can use AI to kind of power your journey, but I'll just leave it here, right? So let me quickly show something. Let's say for someone that wants to, let's present this. Front-end development, for instance. Now you've gotten this roadmap, right? And these your tasks for week 1 and week 2, right? The task is focus on semantic, HTML, CSS selectors, flexbox, and the rest. I have a link to some of the places you can practice this. You can copy this and paste it on either ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or wherever, and prompt it to kind of break this thing down and give you a proper break this down and give me proper concepts on how to study practice for this. Oh, I think copy that. Let's see.
So I think they have access to this slide. They can actually just copy it into ChatGPT and follow the flow.
Yeah. Okay. So because of time, just leave it at that. So you can just copy some of this and paste for GPT to kind of break it down for you and give you proper concepts, explain some of those concepts for you and some practices you can do with regards to that particular guide for the week, right? So it makes it much easier. So that's it. All right, thank you very much. That's it from me. Is there any questions?
I think we'll just save the questions now and then, come back at the end of the workshop to address all these questions. So we'll just have the last speaker now. So please, can you stop sharing, Mr. Emmanuel? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. We really enjoyed
Sandra,
that
you can take it
session.
from here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. That was a very impactful session. We appreciate. And for our next speaker, which is Mr. Godwin. Mr. Godwin is a passionate and detailed-oriented data analyst with a background in economics and a professional experience in business analysis and operations management. With a lifelong love for statistics and numbers, I mean, who likes numbers, right? Mr. Godwin transitioned into the tech space to help businesses make data-driven decisions that lead to real impact. He specializes in extracting meaningful insights from complex data sets, streamlining processes, and supporting strategic decisions across industries. So drop your emojis, drop your thumbs up, drop your clapping emojis for Mr. Godwin. Mr. Godwin, over to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for that warm welcome, Sandra. I mean, there are people that like numbers. Yeah, actually, people that like numbers. But if you
That's
can hear
cool.
me, just keep the
Yeah, we can
emojis
hear you.
going. Okay, so let me share my screen.
All right.
Okay. So I'm going to be speaking on how to navigate data analysis as a beginner with AI. I mean, data analysis is basically the transformation of raw data to meaningful information. That's the most basic definition of data analysis. And data analysts actually work mainly in post-production. That's when all the dust has settled, when everybody has finished doing their development and everything. That's where data analysts come in. And all the data gotten from the things that have been worked on, the information getting into the system that has been created, data analysts then work on that data and turn it into reasonable information for stakeholders to get make decisions out of. So there are 5 stages of data analysis. And stage 1 is defining the problem. That's more like the questions that the stakeholders ask you, as depending on the type of project that we're working on or different questions. It can be a financial related problem that stakeholders are asking. It can be more of operations problem. It can whatever type of problem that the stakeholders are asking. That's where the stage. That's basically what the stage does. Is where you define the problem. Then by the time you get to the problem, you collect the data. This includes web scraping, it includes API, getting information from APIs, or it includes the classic getting information from the database. So however you get the data and collect data, you clean it. If data contains missing informations or excess columns that don't even relate to what you're doing. You can take out all those unnecessary outliers as the data cleaning part. Then now going into the data exploration, find out what's going on inside the data, check for the different, hidden meanings and hidden things that are inside the data. That's where the data exploration stage. That's what happens in this data exploration stage. Then we move on to the 5th stage, which is interpretation. That's more of reports reporting, presentation of the final information that you've gotten from your data exploration. So these these uh these stages of data analysis can actually be simplified with AI. You don't need to stress out and spend hours and weeks. You don't need to spend hours and weeks collecting this data, interpreting it, exploring it. You can actually just shorten some of these steps by giving simple prompts in AI. So some of the beginner challenges of data analysis are one, Sandra mentioned, fear of maths and statistics. I mean, a lot of people are scared of maths and statistics, and they just don't want to go into that. They don't want to go into data analysis anymore because of that. But I don't think uh, there's any fear of maths. I feel it's more like the fear of the maths teacher in secondary school. Math is actually very interesting. Statistics is also very interesting. Once you overcome that fear, you will see that you do data analysis every day. Like it's something that everybody does. I mean, think about how you know the prices of things in the market and how you go about calculating your monthly budgeting, how you guide with your money and all that. So that's basic data analysis and statistics that you do every day. Then the second challenge is getting overwhelmed by tools. A lot of people tell you that you have to learn SQL, you have to learn Python, R, Excel, tab. They don't be overwhelming you with the tools that you need to learn for data analysis. And I'm just here to say that you don't need to learn all those tools to be able to do data analysis. Depending on where what background you have, you can actually pick a particular tool and work with that. If you don't have computer science knowledge or you don't have any knowledge concerning computer science, you can actually work with Excel. Excel is one of the oldest data analysis tools and still one of the best data analysis tools. Excel can do almost everything. Just a lot of people like to go out and find other tools that are more complex, but a lot can be done with Excel in them. Then, if you have knowledge of computer science and you like to code and you want to go into the coding aspect of things, you can actually go ahead and work with Python. Yeah, you can work with Python. You know, how it involves you using the machine, learning the machine's language and computing codes. Then the third challenge is not knowing where to start. I mean, you just have to start from fundamentals, start from personal projects, learn the statistics, logical thinking. When you get that, you can you can then go ahead and work on personal projects. That's the major thing, working on personal projects. Data analysis is more about curiosity. A lot of people are curious about different things. You know, you can just sit down and think, why does my phone battery go low uh, by 4 p.m.? Just giving a random example. You can just be curious about that, like why does this happen? Then you get data, you draw conclusions, like explore the data. You can analyze basically anything as long as your curiosity just keeps giving you more questions to ask. Then you can use AI as your personal assistant and tutor. Now, AI as a personal assistant, you can ask AI to give you relevant data analysis based on a data set. Now, we've been working on a school management system, and as I said, data analysts come mainly in post-production. So after the school management system has been created, the data gotten from the inputs of users in the school management system that can include students' grades, students' attendance rates, the students' name, the courses they've taken, the teachers' pass rates, how many students failed their courses and all that, you know, the teachers that are evil and all these things. The data is actually there And this is what data analysts do. They explore the data that is already there. Data analysts come mainly in post-production, but pre-production, they're also present there. That's when they're building the database. You need to tell the developers that this is the type of data that I'm going to be working with. So add this one, add that one. That's just basically what data analysts will do in the pre-production phase. But post-production is mainly where we work at. So let's go with the sales management system. I've extracted a simple, so can you see my screen, this Excel sheet?
No, we can't see the Excel sheet. Maybe you need to share your entire screen.
Okay. Okay, so I have this extract of a school management system, and it contains the student ID, the class, subjects, attendance rates for each of the students, then pass rates and overall points rates. So if you're given in the school management system, the owners of the school and the stakeholders would ask questions. It would be like, in my school, let's give a possible question that they may ask. It'd be like, in my school, what class of students pass maths the most? Like, why do there's one, like questions like that, why do just one student pass engineer? Why do just one students pass English a lot? Why do just three students fail at maths so much? Is it because of the teacher, things like that? So the stakeholders all have questions that they ask. And given the data that we've drawn from the school management system, we can easily work with that data. Now, the part where AI comes in with this is if you're given these data sets, you can easily go to ChatGPT and ask it or given. So you paste a prompt on ChatGPT telling it about the data set you have. You just kind of explain what you're giving to it. So based on this data set that includes student ID, classes and core subjects with pass and fail percentage, how do we go about, let's ask it how we go about analyzing students' fail rates using Excel. So, ChatGPT has already got out how the data structure is based on what I gave it. And it has actually given us out a complete breakdown of how to go about this, even including how to use pivot tables to visualize your data. And all this was done in seconds, something that would take someone hours or over 1 hour to actually draw the data and do the analysis. So AI is here to work as your personal assistant, and AI is here to stay. So you have to just know how to leverage on AI, let it be your personal assistant and your tutor If you're learning data analysis, you can actually ask AI to explain complex statistical concepts into simple terms. So if you see those different terms like maybe regression analysis or how to compare, you see things on adjusted R square and some other complex things, you can just ask AI to explain it for you uh, in simple terms, and it would explain it in simple terms. Then if you work on your personal project, you can also give your feedback to AI and it will give you, you can also give your results to AI to give you feedback. So speaking on the personal project aspect, you can generate personal data analysis projects with AI. All you just have to do is go to ChatGPT or any other AI tool that you use and type in a prompt like the one in this presentation, or share it on the Google Meet. So as a guide for aspiring data analysts, generate a publicly accessible data set that is clean, well organized, and suitable for entry-level analysis and visualization takes. So by the time you paste a prompt like this, ChatGPT is going to draw out a data set depending on any you can actually give it a specific topic to work on, but seeing that I've already spoken about student performance and student performance and school management, ChatGPT is now giving me a data set based on that. And this is the data set. You can ask it to save it for you as a .csv file. That way you can import it into literally any data analysis project you want. Okay, it already sends the Excel format of this file here. And this is the CSV format of the file. That's comma separated values. This one can be imputed into Python, R, Tableau, and so on into Excel. So in conclusion, because after you're done with the project, you can actually send your interpretations and all that back to ChatGPT, and it would tell you maybe where you got wrong or the things that you did right. To mention all the parts that you did well. This you can even further this project by adding this or that, and it works as a very good tutor. So in conclusion, AI empowers beginners in the time of learning things manually. All that has gone. If you still want to learn things manually, you take a lot more to achieve a level of efficiency. AI accelerates learning. Yeah, you get instant feedbacks and explanations which speed up your learning curve. And if you combine your fundamental knowledge and intellect with AI, you would achieve the best results you can ever get. Like it's you will achieve a far better result than just working. Let me say two heads is better than one, but if you get a human head and an AI, you would achieve a better result. So that's all for the presentation. I hope that was impactful. And do you have any questions?
All right, thank you, Mr. Godwin, for that lovely presentation. I think Mr. Matthew has his hand up for a question. Okay. So you're still muted, Mr. Matthew.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Godwin. I just have a couple of questions. First of all, can AI be used to clean a set of data, clean and interpret a set of data using Python? Thank you.
Yes, yes, you can use AI to interpret clean data. You can use AI to clean, interpret, and yeah. You can use Python to clean, interpret, and visualize your data. So if you prefer working with Python, you can actually do all that with Python. And you can use ChatGPT as your personal assistant while working on Python.
Sorry, what I mean is, can AI use Python to interpret a set of data? You know, if you are doing it manually, all those stress doing the interpretation, the cleaning, and the interpretation of that data using Python, can all of these processes be simplified with the use of AI?
Yes, yes, it can be simplified using AI. Can be simplified using AI. The collection phase, interpretation, exploration, and yeah, and the interpretation phase. So all you just have to do is present it. So as a data analyst, you would also need, presentation skills. All this can be done with AI, but the presentation part, being able to tell the information that you've gotten from your data sets, that's also a very important skill as a data analyst. So you just have to do is, yeah, you just have to get the data. Once you're done exploring it, visualizing it, you present it. So AI can be helped, AI can help simplify all those processes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Godwin, we also had another question. Someone was asking if, do you think AI will take over the job of a data analyst?
Okay, I think I kind of answered that question while answering Mr. Matthew's question. Like I said, it can do most of these things. AI cannot present this data. Let's say AI has analyzed financial data and you're trying to explain to the stakeholders that the company is the company is running into bankruptcy. That is, for example, you try to explain to the stakeholders that the company is running into bankruptcy and it's because of a particular product that they are still selling. AI would fine give you this information, but you need to give input for AI to derive that output, garbage in, garbage out. Someone needs to be there to give this input to the AI. And someone needs to know how to give this input to the AI. So AI cannot take your job as a data analyst. It can only help you do your job efficiently. Then when it gets to the presentation part, you would also be the one to present it. Okay, are there any more questions?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Godwin. I think we don't have any more questions regarding that. So we're just going to move straight into the general, question and answer session. If you have questions specifically for any of the previous speakers, I think this would be a very good time to, share your questions now so that we can go over it because we're slowly coming to the end of our workshop today. So, does anybody have any questions? Okay, Mr. Idris, let's have your question, please.
All right. So from the presentations that I got from the software engineer and the product designer, I want to know if what's the difference between this front end development and what the product designer does specifically.
Okay. So, Mr. Emmanuel, do you want to go ahead and answer the question, please?
Yeah. Okay. Basically, you have the front end, you have the back end, right? So you're asking you have the front end, you have the UI UX, the difference, if there is any difference. Yes, there is a difference. So the UI UX designers are basically in charge of designing the entire flow, which is we have Figma designs. It can be prototyped, maybe, kind of navigate from one section to another, but there are more to that, right? So just like Mr. Tofa presented, where he was using Google Studio, the build feature of it to kind of build a product, right? So without a front-end engineer, although that has been built, but you still need a front-end engineer to kind of do some certain things on that and deploy it. Remember, at the end of the day, you want this to be readily available for users to kind of access that particular product that has been built, right? So a UX can design in charge of gathering information and data, checking the experiences. Okay, how should this be favorable to a user? If a user goes to this screen, what's the experience of that user? Okay, this color code shouldn't be here, this should be here. After coming up with all of those and designing them, is the front-end engineer that is going to bring it to life, that is going to code it, right? Yeah, there are AI tools that you can use to generate a certain template, right, for that particular design. But then remember, this design is basically just the front end, the UI, the UX or the UI. But then there is a functionality. It's still the front end person that will take the API that has been created by the backend engineers and consume it. Remember, the backend is sending information, sending data, which will be represented on the interface. So that data that is being sent is the front engineer that is going to take those data and handle them, present them where they're supposed to, display them where they're supposed to, right? So the UI person cannot do that. So theirs is just to design it and prototype it. They can equally generate a kind of a front-end template, right? But then there is more to front-end than implementing or integrating designs, which is also consuming APIs. So,
Okay, just to add more context to what Mr. Emmanuel just said, earlier on I made mention of, let's say you wanted to build a house, for example, like a construction site, right? Let's say the UI UX designer or the product designer is basically, in the context of building construction, the architect, the person that actually draws the building plan, how the building is going to look like, right? That's what the designer actually does. The UI UX or product designer actually does. Then you now have let's say the team that will come in to construct the building, right? So those are actually the development team. That's either the front end or the back end developer. So in this case where we're actually looking at front end developer, the guys that will actually construct the interior of the house, how the to give it that lovely finishing, would actually be the front end developers, because the front end developer basically builds the look of the or let's say it's a website, of the website, right, or of any application, basically building what the designer has already done, right? And then the back end more on the structural side of things, and getting that ready for the front end developer to make use of. So, Mr. Idris, I don't know if we've been able to, clarify the difference for you using more practical examples.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have a clearer view and understanding now.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Tofa, you wanted to add something.
Oh yes, but I mean, after your speak, right, your speak was turning towards my direction, right? But I mean, just to add to it, right? I think with the advent of AI, right, there are new roles that, I mean, the way we work and collaborate, I think AI will change it. And I mean, they've answered that context, right? They answered the question in the context of how we work. Now, let me just share my screen. I promised you guys I was going to show you what I created. All right, so can you see my screen? So this is a landing page that I created for what's it called? I created for the education stuff, the school stuff, and I did this by just entering a message, right? By just chatting with the AI, right? And this is the dashboard, right? That's the landing page, and this is the dashboard that was created. So to answer your question, for front end design, as I said, I think roles are going to, AI is going to, I mean, there are new roles that are going to emerge, like roles like, I mean, and this is just a prediction, not a fact. There are roles like maybe product prompt engineer, right? Or a product development engineer, right? Prompt engineer. That would be maybe someone that understands a bit of UI, UX, and a bit of um, front-end development, and is able to bring the product to life. However, it's the responsibility of a UI UX designer in the context of which we've spoken now to create all these things. Let me remind you, a UI UX designer, as Mr. Godfrey has said, is the architect. The architect in a site most times leaves the site after he has given the plan. Whenever he comes, he just comes to check, okay, are they following what's it called? Are they following the plan that was laid, right? Are they following the plan that was laid? Did they put the blocks where they were supposed to be? Did they put the walls where they were supposed to put it? So that's like the primary difference. But as I said, the lines are getting blurrier between the role of product designer and front-end development, particularly because of the tools that existed these days. So I think new roles are going to come out. So that's my angle to that question. Yeah, so for guys that were in the stuff earlier, so from that prompt that we generated, it created the dashboard for like the management where you can see the list of all the teachers. You can add teachers, you can delete teachers, you can view their profile, you can enroll students, right? You can enroll this person to OJ, you can enroll a new student, enroll physics for this person, enroll that's for the person, and I mean, it's all enrolled. The system is freezing. Yeah, but as I was saying, right, I mean, all of this was built using AI. So both the dashboard system, and the landing page as well was done by just putting instructions. I dropped a link to this earlier in the group chat. I mean, the tool that I used, we shared as well in the community. You guys should engage in the community and I mean, ask questions, and we would provide answers from time to time.
Thank you, Mr. Tofa. I think Mr. Matthew has a question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation so far. I think I'm really having a nice time. First of all, my number one question: are there other aspects of the tech space that I have not mentioned here that AI can come in, can help to reduce the stress and problem people face. And secondly, the community that's been mentioned, I don't know if everyone here have direct access to the community that's been talked about, or is it the general group platform, a WhatsApp platform? Is that what is being referred to as a community? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matthew. I think I'll answer the last question. So we're going to start off with the group chats as a means of where we communicate, share ideas with each other, and as we grow, we can also look at maybe using other tools like maybe Telegram or Slack to manage a community. So we just want to start off with WhatsApp, and we really want to build an environment or a community where people can learn from each other. So what we'll be doing is we'll be doing regular workshops like this on a monthly basis, where we just come to talk about different areas within the tech industry. So you guys are all joining us at the beginning aspect of things. So this is me also trying to answer the first question you asked. So the tech space is very broad. There's so many other roles that we've not spoken about in this session, just because we don't also have enough time to do that. So if you look at something like, let's say, copywriting, for example, you can definitely use AI tools to help you come up with copies for, let's say, websites or blog posts as well, because there's actually a role such as copywriter, and people actually pay individuals to, let's say, come up with content that they will post on their website. So with something like AI, it just makes it a lot easier, right, for you to, okay, let's say there's a particular brand that you're working with, and they have a tone of voice that maybe they're actually a very friendly type of company, right? And they want you to, come up with something for their website. You can use any of the available AI tools out there for that. So yeah, generally, it's my own take is that we should look at AI tools as something that basically makes your job a lot easier, right? As somebody trying to transition to tech, or as a developer, or not only as a developer but as somebody in the tech space, right? So you can use it to learn. Let's say whatever path in tech space you want to go into, you can definitely use it to learn, to explore if there are areas that within that path that you're trying to go into that it can actually make your entire journey easier for you. So Mr. Matthew, I hope I was able to answer your questions.
Yes, you were perfectly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I don't know if any of us have any more questions, because I know we are an hour out of the estimated time we set out for this meeting. So I just want to, does anybody have questions? Okay, Liam.
Okay, good evening. Thank you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, so I have a question for the product manager. So you mentioned that you finished, so you were doing a little bit of product management before you left school, which you didn't know. Then you finished school and you got a role. So how long after you finished school did you get a role? And does certification play a vital role in getting a job in product management? And if yes, what certifications?
Okay, so thank you, Liam, for that question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I got a role after school. It was an internship actually, stroke NYC as a software project management assistant. So yeah, so for certification, yeah, you require certifications, as in every industry, just to certify that you know this thing you say you know. Because there are a lot of people out there that do product management as well and do all sort of tech positions. But just to certify that you know what you actually know, that you've said you know, which is product management. Yeah, you can take some courses. There are courses everywhere. You can even take Udemy courses, Coursera courses. At a point, if you go on my LinkedIn, I have a lot of certifications from Coursera. So at a point in my life, I spent quite an amount of money on Coursera, although I got some discounts because I just needed to let people know that I know this thing called product management. Within myself, I know this thing. I know the concepts and everything. But I had to start taking courses. I even joined. I don't know if you've heard of Y Combinator. I joined their startup school online. I took, because as a product manager, you basically own the product. You're the CEO of that product because you give the directions and the strategy based on your research. So I took that course as well with Y Combinator, got an online certificate. So it doesn't necessarily have to be globally recognized certificate while you're just beginning. You could just go with some Coursera certificates. There are a lot of product management schools around online that you can just get certified. I can share with you some. Also, in the coming months, or yeah, it's part of our Goddafi Softwares plans as well to start doing some online courses and issuing certificates by the time it's fully registered for certificate issuance. So yeah, I think it's just about that. Just try Coursera, try Udemy. I'll share some other platforms you can use as well. So I hope I was able to answer some of your questions.
Yes. Sorry, just the last one. Does this
Okay.
certificate actually determine whether you get the job or not? Like, is it a major factor?
Uh, it's not a major factor as long as you can prove in your interviews that you can convince your interviewees that you can actually do the job, and experience matters. Aside certification, experience, as little as it is, if you get chances to take up internship, take it up. You gain, no matter the experience, you gain some experience from that. You can even pick up people from the community. Oh, let's work on this small project. Let's build a small calculator project. That's experience. You're gaining experience. So when you go to your interviews, these are the things you're going to be talking about. Oh, I've worked in a cross-functional team. I worked with a UI UX designer that was able to do this. I provided a product strategy on so product. So that's why we're building this community, to give you that experience that you wouldn't get anywhere, and also leveraging on AI to amplify your building process and learning process.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, so just to add to what Mr. Samson said, Liam, so it's very, very important to work on personal projects, right? Because at the end of the day, that person, you can't underestimate the power of personal development, right? So I mean, if you're looking to move into project management, right, you can just come up with a topic or like a particular area you want to a particular project you want to work on, right? And then try and see what it would take for you to start that project from the beginning to the end. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have this community now. You can share your thoughts, and then maybe somebody that is interested in development can also say, okay, maybe they're interested in a project like that, and then we can see how we can put you all together, and you can actively learn and work on this project together. right? Because just as Mr. Samson said, at the end of the day, it's about what you actually know. The certificates are important, but I think it's all about the person and the experience that they have. I think that's something that will definitely, land you the job. Because I use myself as an example. Um, the first opportunity I actually got to work as a software developer was based on a project I actually worked on. I was able to at least get the interview, but what actually got me the job was the presentation of something that I worked on. That's what actually got the employers interested in hiring me as a developer. So I think that practical knowledge cannot be underestimated. So I hope we've been able to shed better light on your question, Mr. Liam.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you too. So I think we'll just leave it there for now. Thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't followed us, please, this is the time to at least just go on Twitter, tag our page at Goddafi SW, which is Goddafi Software on Twitter, and you can follow us on. Let me quickly share my screen so that. So these are our social media channels. We'd really appreciate you, commenting or saying something about how you felt about the workshop today. If you found it impactful, I think it would be good to, drop those messages here, and even on the group chat. We would really love to hear your thoughts so that we know how to either improve or what to basically do differently in the upcoming sessions that we'll be having. So, Cassandra, I believe you might actually have a thing or two to say at this point. Is Cassandra still here? Okay, she's muted.
Yes, I'm saying I had a little network glitch.
Okay, so we're just wrapping up things right now. So I don't know if you have a thing or two to say.
Okay.
It's been an enjoyable session, actually.
Okay, I just want to say thank you to everyone, both the speakers and the audience. I hope you found this session very impactful. And a round of applause for everybody for staying to the end and getting real value. So thank you. And do enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll be sharing, we'll be dropping some very interesting materials on the group chat. So we'll be sharing some ebooks as well, something to basically help you kickstart your journey if you're transitioning into tech. I will also drop a link to a survey so that at least we know which area all of us are interested in. I know there are some people that might be interested in software development. There might be people interested in other areas, right? So we would like to at least get that insight and know how to, target our subsequent sessions. Let's say come up with sessions for project management, and then let the people that are interested in project management, come in for those sessions. So I think that's pretty much it. And for the speakers, thank you so much for your time. I think you guys did a fantastic job explaining how people can basically take advantage of AI in their respective fields. So thank you so much for making our time for this session. And our participants, we really appreciate all of us have stayed 1 hour extra to the end of this session. So we appreciate you and really look forward to seeing each and every one of us transition into this space successfully. So thank you once again, and you do all have a lovely evening.